Get her. Get her.
Well, y'all enjoy yourself.
Sweet. Thanks, man. All right. Oh, no. I just fell. All right. We are about to head out. We have a big plan for the day. We got a couple memorials to go to. Good news is it's early, so we'll get to everything in time. We got a few museums to go to, a few exhibits to see. We are leaving the Capitol Hilton right now, and we got to go get breakfast first. So join us. Let's go. We are back. We're heading to get some breakfast. I think there's a Subway around here somewhere. We're gonna try to get some food for cheap since we spent a decent amount of money last night at this bar we're actually about to walk past. It was called Barcode. Subway open. All right, let's go eat. All right, we're gonna eat this food and then we're on our way to the U.S. Navy Memorial. All right, we just finished eating. Now let's head to the museum. Let's go. All right, we're gonna walk it. It's a pretty long walk, but we'll see you when we get there. Looks like they got some type of rally going on right here. Let's see what this is all about.
Yeah, we recognize that peace is not free, and for peace to be achieved, there must be sacrifice, unending effort, and unity. There is so much violence, conflict, and illegal acts of aggression that all must come to an end today. So we walk together as one, believing that we can create a world of peace. Yeah, in unity and as one. With all of the peace posters and cheering.
Okay, so right in front of me is the White House. Take a look. Alright, so we've made it to the U.S. Navy Memorial. Take a look. Any man who may be asked what he did to make his life worthwhile,
I think I can respond with a good deal of pride and satisfaction. I served in the United States Navy. President John F. Kennedy.
Let's check out the memorial.
So this is an enlisted sailor in his dress uniform. You can't tell if it's dress blues or dress whites. Yeah, he's just standing there with a sack. I don't know what's in the sack though. Naval Special Warfare, Naval Reservists, Navy Medicine, Naval Airships, the Silent Service, Clean Sweep, Exploration, Oceanography Research, Naval Lieutenant Charles Wilkes in Antarctica, U.S. Merchant Marine, U.S. Navy Armed Guard, United States Naval Academy, Annapolis, for Knowledge, Sea Power, Destroyer Escorts, Trim but Deadly, Opening Japan for Commerce, Commodore Matthew Perry, 1854, Captain John Paul Jones, In Harm's Way. So this is the United States Navy Memorial. The United States Navy Memorial in honor of those who serve to force the heritage of the United States Navy, in tribute to those who perish to provide peace and security for our maritime nation, in gratitude to those now serving.
Nice waterfall behind me.
Basically, what they're talking about with the Vietnam War is that black people disproportionately face enemy fire. And the problem with the Vietnam War is you're drafted to fight this war, but you are still under like these racist Jim Crow laws at home. So it didn't make sense for black people to be fighting it. This is why someone like Muhammad Ali would say something like, no Vietnamese ever called me the N-word. Because he did not want to go fight, especially for a country that was treating his people so poorly. And when you think about the racial injustice even within the infantry, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Like, black people literally risking their lives for a country that's just throwing them out to slaughter. And we lost Vietnam, like, pretty convincingly. Right here, they're talking about how the armed services integrated, and they're mentioning, like, this museum is not holding back punches. It's not because, oh, they wanted to be all buddy-buddy and things like that with black people or minorities. It's because they needed the manpower.
write about it, push it out my body, and watch my son slowly grow into it. You said you want a poem. That what you gonna do?
So it looks like we've seen all the exhibits in the African American, what's this called? You don't know. The African American Museum of Culture and History. So there's a lot of culture and history that we're seeing. So we are leaving. We're on the 3rd floor now, so we're going down to the 1st floor. And we will see you outside on the mall. All right, we are now leaving the African American History and Culture Museum. I am going to butcher this entire video, but we're leaving there. We're heading to the American History Museum, which is like right next door. Oh, and if you like ice cream, you'll love being in DC, downtown DC, because there's ice cream vendors everywhere, especially during this summertime. Even all down this street right there, all vendors, food vendors, ice cream, you name it. Alright, so we're leaving the American History Museum and we're heading to see some of these memorials. We're heading to the Korean War Memorial right now, but I think we gotta actually pass the World War II Memorial. So once we see it, we'll just stop there. But right now, I got me an ice cream until we can take a little bit of a break. It's a lot of walking in DC. So make sure you make time to get an ice cream, walk with it, enjoy it. It's not too hot out here, but it's hot enough to have an ice cream. Certainly it's hot enough to have an ice cream. And this ice cream looks delicious too, doesn't it? You see the sprinkles? But yeah, over there, watch the monument. Hey. All right, we finished our ice cream. Some people struggle more than others. The point is we got through it. Now we're heading toward the memorial. So the Korean War Memorial, I think the World War II Memorial, we're actually gonna pass the Lincoln Memorial on the way. So once we see it, then we'll stop at it. We'll stop at the memorials. But right now, we're walking past the Washington Monument. Once again, here you go. It's as big as it looks up close as well. Oh, lady flying a kite. Probably can't see that. Camera can only do so much in so much sunlight. Overexposure for the sunlight. We'll see you guys at the next memorial. Peace. So we made it to the World War II Memorial. Here it is. I've actually been here before, but I have more of an appreciation for it nowadays. We actually have some military out here today. Air Force out and about. These are lower enlisted. These are like what, E2, E3s. There's a Battle of Midway commemoration right here. So people look at the Battle of Midway as the turning point for World War II. They had no right to win, yet they did. And in doing so, they changed the course of a war, even against the greatest of odds. There's something in the human spirit, a magic blend of skill, faith, and valor that can lift men from certain defeat to incredible victory. The war's end. Today, the guns are silent. A great tragedy has ended. A great victory has been won. The skies no longer rain death. The seas bear only commerce. Men everywhere walk upright in the sunlight. The entire world is quietly at peace. General Douglas MacArthur. The war actually ended when the Japanese surrendered. So the Japanese, they would end up surrendering on a ship called the USS Missouri. The Missouri is docked in Joint Base Pearl Harbor, in the harbor, and that's where the Japanese surrendered after the two bombings, the bombing of Hiroshima and the bombing of Nagasaki. Both bombings killed hundreds of thousands of people, you know, caused all types of leukemia, radiation, things like that. And so the Japanese had no choice but to surrender. That's why the USS Missouri is the most famous battleship of all time. However, the greatest battleship of all time is the USS New Jersey, which has the most battle stars in US history. Basically, you get battle stars for winning victories. The USS New Jersey has fought in World War II, the Korean War, the Gulf War, Vietnam, the Cold War. It's fought in all these wars and has all these battle stars, yet it's never recognized as famous as the Missouri, where the Japanese surrendered. That says something about that ending of World War II. Our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. They have earned our undying gratitude. America will never forget their sacrifices. President Harry Truman. We are determined that before the sun sets on this terrible struggle, our flag will be recognized throughout the world as a symbol of freedom on the one hand and of overwhelming force on the other. General George C. Marshall. All right, so D-Day, June 6, 1944. You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. General Dwight D. Eisenhower. They have given their sons to the military services. They have stoked the furnaces and hurried the factory wheels. They have made the planes and welded the tanks, riveted the ships, and rolled the shells. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is what this memorial is all about. It's all about commemoration of the sacrifices that those soldiers, sailors, airmen had during World War II. This is what that beautiful fountain behind me is all about. And now we are leaving the World War II Memorial. We're heading that way toward the Lincoln Memorial, and we will see you guys there. All right, a prayer for our nation reads, my fellow Americans, last night when I spoke with you about the fall of Rome, I knew at that moment that troops of the United States and our allies were crossing the channel in another greater operation. It has come to pass with success thus far, and so, in this poignant hour, I ask you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, our sons, pride of our nation, this day have set upon a mighty endeavor, a struggle to preserve our republic, our religion, and our civilization, and to set free a suffering humanity. It ends with thy blessing, we shall prevail over the unholy forces of our enemy. Help us to conquer the apostles of greed and racial arrogancies. Lead us to the saving of our country and our sister nations into a world of unity that will spell a sure peace, a peace invulnerable to the schemings of unworthy men, and a peace that will let all men live in freedom, reaping the just rewards of their honest toil. Thy will be done. Almighty God, amen. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. All right, a lot of walking today, but we've made it to the Lincoln Memorial. Now we just got to climb these stairs. Almost at the top. Make a way, make a way. There we go. All right, we made it to the Lincoln Memorial. It says at the top, in this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, The memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever. So this is the Lincoln Memorial. Here's the Gettysburg Address. 407 years ago. So this appears to be his speech at his inauguration on his second term. All right, guys, on to the Korean War Memorial, which is out here to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. We'll see you there. All right. We made it down from the Lincoln Memorial, now onto the Korean Memorial. It should be right over here to the right. We'll see you there. Okay, we've made it to the Korean War Memorial. Here's what it looks like. Freedom is not free. You guys believe in that? Freedom is not free? I'll say it's true. Freedom is not free. So basically, it looks like, let's see this. A grateful nation honors the members of the armed forces of the United States and the Korean augmentation to the United States Army who gave the last full measure of devotion in defense of freedom. So basically, this wall just has the names of all the soldiers who sacrificed, all the service members that sacrificed for the United States and serving during the Korean War. It must be something to marvel at if you've actually had an ancestor that fought in this war to see their name here. You know, a lot of Korean Americans fought on the America side for this war. If you guys don't know, the Korean War was a battle between North and South Korea. And the United States got involved because of the spread of communism. You know, they have these memorials to honor these guys, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. It's Memorial Day weekend. You know, in memory of, memorial, in memory of our fallen soldiers, our soldiers, our airmen, our Navy sailors who served, our warriors that served in war, that served in combat, just so that we can enjoy the luxuries that we enjoy today, the freedoms that we enjoy today. All right, made it to the MLK Memorial. Martin Luther King famously said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." I have the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. The audacity. It is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. We must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but on the positive affirmation of peace. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Every nation must now develop an overriding loyalty to mankind as a whole in order to preserve the best in their individual societies. We are determined here in Montgomery to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. We must come to see that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. Boo boo. Okay, it looks like the battery is gonna die before we make it to the Jefferson Memorial, but in case it does, we will see you guys on the next part of this journey in DC. Here's the monument. Now we're running through Hunters Ford.
Run,
I can't never stop. I'm the.
run,
It's the start of a forever.
run,
I'm busy reaching my.
run.
Speak from the.
So,
That should keep bringing it.
roll.
19, I ain't. I'm a living. I say low key, that's a trying to double up what I if I want that, I'm a got a new drip, gotta know the ops mad, then I say balling on them like the oh, I'm doing good on my right now I'm calling my sometimes I sit up and stone, just thinking about it, this gift ain't gonna never be. I hope I die a legend when I miss some bros in heaven. It's a, even though I'm progressing, it's a bruise. And every time we gonna step in this for you, I'm living life with no fear. Top of the, I'll be on top of the, my vision Bacardi, my diamonds. So this is Farragut Square. We're not visiting Farragut Square. We're just walking past it on the way back to the hotel. So we can actually get some food and get something to drink because we've been walking all day, all morning, most of this afternoon. So, but yeah, we have to pass through Farragut Square to get there. And yeah, enjoying the views from downtown DC. Check it out.
All right, we're on our way to, where are we on our way to? All right, we are on our way to the DC Wharf, and we're going there to get some food. And first, I gotta go pick up my car from the parking garage because I believe I have overbooked the time. So try not to get towed right now. So I will see you guys when we get to the wharf. All right, first things first, I gotta make sure my car didn't get towed out of this parking garage. So fingers crossed. We're parking this parking garage, but the door is somewhere around here. All right, we made it down here to Southwest. We parked probably about half a mile away from the wharf. I do that because it's pretty packed down there at the wharf, and I didn't even want to fool around with trying to find parking or even trying to find street parking. It just wasn't worth my time. I paid the $12 to Spot Hero to reserve a spot. Now we're doing this half-mile trek down to the wharf. What about it?
The Korean War was the first integrated war.
Ah, it was. The Korean War, the first integrated war. Now, black people, they did fight in the other wars, but it wasn't like officially integrated, so to speak. Korean War was the first war.
Yep. And also the Revolutionary War was also the war that kind of like changed, you know, like the black names, right? To freedom, free men.
Yeah. So black people fought in the Revolutionary War to try to gain their freedom. To try to gain their freedom. They did not all succeed in gaining their freedom just because they fought. It's sad, but it's the truth. And to add even more context to the whole Korean War thing and the integration was only done to get more people in battle. In fact, they actually had a huge issue with sending the minorities, black people, out to slaughter. Like basically using them as human body shields, basically. So that was a huge problem in the armed forces. Like nobody ever talks about it. I never hear anything about that, but I learned that today. And obviously, you know, it just kind of makes sense. You know, you got all this integration talk, but the fact that for the longest time, we were just used like as just sent out to slaughter. Is that not crazy?
Very crazy.
But yeah, I learned a lot of stuff in the museums today. Did you learn anything cool in the American History Museum?
I was just walking through and glancing over.
So by the time we got to the American History Museum, we were, let me let this loud car pass. By the time we got to the American History Museum, we were extremely exhausted from all the walking because we walked all the way from the hotel. And then from the hotel, we walked to all these monuments, walked to the African American History Museum and all that. So by the time we got to the American History Museum, I was like, I just learned so much about American history from the African American history side of it, and I'm kind of historyed out. So I'd say one of the things that I took away from
the American History Museum is like, it is actually going back to more of a black thing, the effect that black athletes have had on American history. No, that's African American History Museum. That's wrong one. LeBron James actually had an exhibit. Him and Maverick Carter dedicated an exhibit to the African American History Museum, and part of that exhibit that they had dedicated, it included like a Muhammad Ali tribute. So that part, that's actually pretty cool to see. But the American history, I remember seeing one exhibit about, what was the girl's name? Something Kim, the Olympian, Chloe Kim. She's actually pretty dope. If you didn't watch the Beijing Olympics in 2022, Winter Olympics, I highly recommend watching Chloe Kim. She's amazing. She's a snowboarder. I love snowboarding, by the way. And yeah, she's just great at it. But she was like the first female to ever nail two, 1080s consecutively. Never been done before until she did it. So yeah, she's awesome. She's like the greatest. She's like the greatest of all time. She's basically the GOAT. The GOAT of snowboarding for females. But through all this rambling, we've actually made it to the Wharf. Alright, so now we're on the search to find a nice restaurante on this wharf. Shouldn't be too hard. I see a Ben and Jerry's. That's not food, that's ice cream. We already had ice cream earlier today. This is a restaurant called Boardwalk. That might be a move. Let me walk closer, see the type of food these people are eating. Looks pretty good. Looks like it's seafood there. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Tito's, definitely a bar. Tito's is definitely a bar. Looks like they serve food though, so that's cool. And what you're feeling on your feet right now, I think this is supposed to be worse in Europe because of the cobblestone. Let me turn this ISO up a bit so you guys can see me. There we go. Okay. Filipino, Thai, Korean. You know, like Thai food is not my favorite type of food. I can certainly live without it. Del Mar, the way this waiter is dressed makes me think that this is expensive. I'm not trying to break the bank. Moon rabbits. Okay. This definitely looks expensive. Looks like probably what we're gonna have to do is go back to that first restaurant. The one that was like definitely a seafood spot. It was called Boardwalk. Boardwalk, compared to some of these other restaurants, can't be that expensive. I haven't seen the menu, but it can't be that expensive. It's called Boardwalk. Mi Vida Restaurante.
Oh, me, you, yes.
Turn.
It's fun and it's pretty, but it's
My Morning Jacket, July 29th. I remember the episode of American Dad with My Morning Jacket. You remember that? Why would you? Why would she remember an episode of a show that we watch religiously? Okay, the noise coming from here makes me think it's not expensive. So it's either this or Boardwalk. So let's do some research real quick. All right, so I'll take a look at the review for Brighton. All right, so I'll take a look at the review for Brighton. Boardwalk it is. The food was much simpler, a little cheaper, probably a lot cheaper. And yeah, at this point, I'm not trying to do a research project on a menu to order. I just want to order something pretty easy and get on with my night. Just get some sustenance. Oh, they're doing s'mores over here.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, and basketball score updates. Boston is up 38-35 on Miami right now. We decided to sit at the bar so we can see the game. But this whole spot is like an arcade mixed with a restaurant slash bar. It's actually a pretty decent scene. Food's fairly inexpensive. It's like boardwalk food, but hopefully it's decent. I ordered like a barbecue pork slider, and she ordered some boardwalk tacos. So hopefully the carnitas. So hopefully it's good. I'll show you when we get the food. All right, we got the food. Some sliders and some tacos. So hopefully these taste pretty good. I'll let you know. All right, now we're out. To the left. All right, we had fun at the Wharf. We got some food, saw the sights, saw some yachts. Now we're gonna make this half-mile walk back to the car. In the morning, we have a presentation that we have to be at. So basically, we got this trip highly subsidized because Hilton does this thing called Hilton Grand Vacations, where they offer you this staycation package in exchange for listening to a timeshare presentation that's gonna last like 3 or 4 hours. So we gotta do that in the morning at 11. Now, hey! This crazy woman. Anyways, so there's a timeshare presentation that we have to sit through. Now, I already know not to accept any timeshare presentation, scams or schemes. It doesn't even matter if it's not a scheme or a scam. I don't care. I just wanted the highly subsidized 3 days or 4 days, 3 nights at the Capitol Hilton. And I thought that was a pretty decent exchange for 3 hours of my time. Yeah, it's not like it was gonna kill me to sit there and listen to them. But yeah, so we're gonna do that in the morning at around 11. If there was something that we were forgetting, we might try to get it done before 11, but I don't think that we will. I think we'll just kind of wake up a little later, get a chance to sleep in, and yeah, do the 11 o'clock thing. It's going to be at the hotel, so we don't have to go too far. We don't have to do anything crazy, but it will last around 3 or 4 hours. After that, we're going to head to Arlington. We're going to see the tomb of the unknown soldier, along with some other grave sites for other veterans that have passed. We're gonna visit Mount Vernon area. There's a memorial for Robert E. Lee. We're gonna visit that. Robert E. Lee was the Confederate president. Busy day tomorrow, and then on Monday as well. But Monday we'll be mostly leaving. So just giving you guys a rundown. Yeah, so far I would say successful, day in DC. What say you?
Successful day in DC.
Excellent. Even though she almost just got ran over. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. All right, it is the next morning. It's Sunday morning. We're gonna try to go get some breakfast down here. I believe we get like a $15 credit every day. So
Gonna go find some. Let me turn this ISO down. Gonna see if I can actually find some food in here because it is early in the morning, just woke up, and I am hungry. Sushi. Hi, good morning. Do you guys serve breakfast? And is there like a $15 per day credit for food?
You'll go to done?
Yeah, I'm done.
$36 food credit. So
36. So $36 food.
So per day. So you're gonna tell them your number and they'll charge you.
Oh man,
That's the for you, okay?
I should have used that yesterday. Thank you. It's $36, babe. Could have saved that money on Subway. All right, so apparently if you're diamond, you get a $36 per day food credit. That's a little crazy. Let me turn this ISO down. So now we have some decent lighting in this. 200. All right. So this is where we're walking into. What's that called, babe? I can't see it. It's called Northgate Grill. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Finish eating breakfast now to head back up to the hotel room and rest before we have to sit through this, I'm gonna call it boring, but sales presentation. That's the reason why we got this Hilton Grand Vacations package, highly subsidized. So we gotta sit through it, but that starts at 11. So I will see you guys at 11. All right, time to get out of here before we're late for this meeting. Hello. All right. Wait a second. Okay, so I actually didn't realize that it was not in the hotel. So just picked up an Uber. Hopefully, you know, we arrive 10 minutes late. They don't say, hey, this whole vacation doesn't count just because we were 10 minutes late to this thing. I thought that it was in the hotel. All right, I'll see you guys when you get there. All right, time to hope we made it in time. All right, good morning.
You have a sales presentation?
Yes.
Okay, can I have your last name?
Both.
Okay, right here. Okay, by any chance, do you happen to own any property with Hilton Grand Vacations or Diamond Resorts?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. So you guys are all checked in. So some refreshments I'll get to your right if you would like, and we'll get you assigned to a representative.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, you all get a gift for coming in today.
Sick.
It's 15,000 Hilton Honors points. Also, you'll be receiving a $100 voucher to stay at one of these 6 brands here.
Okay.
It's for an upcoming trip. And the voucher does last for 6 months. Is there any specific brand you'd like to select from?
Out of these?
Yes, so you do have to select from one of the 6 by the end of your presentation.
Yes, I just reprinted it.
No, you don't.
No.
It's a $100 free night on us.
Oh, okay. You don't have
I'll
to
do.
These anywhere in the United States.
same off because he's being charged with it.
So you guys actually get some gifts for
Here, I'm
coming
gonna
in
pass
today.
it over to Dino.
I'll do the Hilton.
The
We'll
Hilton?
just have to remember to hit Dino with it.
Okay, so you guys are good to go. Somebody will call you by your name and we'll give you your gift at the end of the presentation.
Okay, sick. Thanks. Made it. All right, so we're finished with that, and we basically walked in, sat down for 5 minutes, and they told us that they were actually understaffed at the moment. So we'll get credit for the presentation, but we no longer have to stay. It would be like 30 minutes before another rep would be available, and they didn't want to keep us there. So we got this whole subsidized staycation, and we didn't even have to do the hard part, which was stick through a 3 or 4 hour presentation. Which was stick through a 3 or 4 hour presentation. So I will say that's a win for us. Now, since we're ahead of schedule, we gotta head back to our hotel because we're actually at the Embassy Suites now because
This thing was located at the Embassy Suites, and I didn't even realize it was. That's why we arrived late. As soon as I got downstairs, I was like, wait a second, this isn't downstairs in the Capitol Hilton? And yeah, they let us know that, well, they didn't let us know. I looked up the address, I was like, oh no, this is like 5 minutes away by car. So I called an Uber real quick because it would take me 15 minutes to walk to my car from the garage to the garage. So we made it in time. We just didn't have to sit through the presentation. Now, time to hit up the rest of DC, the rest of the itinerary. We need to go to Arlington because we need to go to the National Cemetery. And then, like I said, Robert E. Lee's Memorial, and then Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and that U.S. Marine Memorial. So we're about to go do that. Let me see how much my Uber is going to be to get us back to the hotel, because we can't walk back to the hotel. It'd be like a 30-40 minute walk. All right, the Uber driver is about a mile away. We're going to meet her outside here at the Embassy Suites, go back to the hotel, and then we're going to go inside the hotel and then get anything that we need for Arlington, and then yeah, go scoop the car, and then we're just going to drive to Arlington. Any questions? Just kidding. All right, we'll see you guys in Arlington. I believe the Embassy Suites was one of the options, and it's actually pretty nice in here. Although we're not staying here, if you ever have the opportunity to stay here, it looks pretty good in here, so recommend it. All right, so now we're gonna head to retrieve the car so we can head to Arlington. Had to stop by the hotel first to grab some things for this trip. And yeah, let's go see some monuments and memorials. You excited?
I'm excited.
She says she's excited. Should be bringing me my car soon. Bringing me the car. Perfect. All right, thank you. Okay, so we've made it to Arlington, but we have to do a slight detour simply because it is very difficult to get to Arlington National Cemetery at the moment. Not sure why, but like there's some roads that are closed off. So one of the memorials in our itinerary is actually the Marine Corps War Memorial, which is here in Arlington near Rosslyn. So we're actually just gonna stop by here, and there's also an Jima Memorial that we'll take a look at as well. So Arlington National Cemetery it's close by, but it was difficult to get there. The GPS was just having a lot of trouble with it. So, you know, we got the next best thing. We'll still make it to the National Cemetery because I still want to see the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. But yeah, so we're approaching the memorial now. And here's what I'm looking at. You can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so right there it says, in honor and memory of the men of the United States Marine Corps who have given their lives to their country since 10 November 1775. And so all across this statue, all across this memorial, you're gonna see writing on it. And all this writing is a list of all the battles: Grenada, Persian Gulf, 1987 through 1991, Panama, 1988 through 1990. And if you're unaware of exactly what this statue is, this is basically, I think, about 6 Marines holding up the American flag at Iwo Jima. A lot of military was responsible for this. It's just these guys are kind of credited famously with it, but it was a lot that it took to get to this point, you know, to make way for an entire 3 divisions of Marines to get to this point. You know, a lot of people died fighting in Iwo. So yeah, that's why this statue is so important. So the sculptor of this Marine Memorial, his name is Felix de Weldon, and I'll let you know what he said late in his life. He said this memorial commemorates the brave deeds of the Marines and their bitter fighting in so many faraway places. Where have any let me wait for this plane to go by. Where have any men done more to deserve such love and admiration from us all? Each of us honor heroism in a different way. Some make art, others tell stories to keep the memories alive. When you meet a Marine or hear about their actions, remember this place and the sacrifices it asks us all to never forget. And the motto for the U.S. Marine Corps is Semper Fidelis, always faithful. In short, Semper Fi. All right, let's move on. Oh yeah? All right, so we made our way to, this is actually pretty nice. It's called the Netherlands Carillon, and it was basically a gift from the Netherlands to the United States after the United States helped to defeat the Nazi regime that was controlling the Netherlands. So as a thank you, the Netherlands gifted the U.S. this Carillon, which currently has 53 bells. I believe it will be played tomorrow, but yeah, this is it. Now the lions are on the side, and they're symbolic of guarding the Carillon. But yeah, that's interesting. I never heard of this, but it just makes sense as a thank you for, you know, ending the occupation of the Netherlands. Here's your gift. All right, we finally made it. Welcome to Arlington National Cemetery. Now, one of our main purposes here is to see the tomb of the unknown soldier. But Arlington's huge, so we're not gonna see every single grave site, but hopefully we make it to the tomb of the unknown soldier. All right, we are about to walk through Arlington National Cemetery. Check it out. A lot of grave sites here. All right, let's see how far we've actually walked. We've walked a decent distance thus far. All right, looks like we've made it to the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Tomb of the unknown soldier?
Nope.
So this just tells you about what we're doing. They have flowers up there, or you can stop right here, these ladies, and they will more than likely assist you with getting you the flower to lay down.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have you all got to lay a flower out for the
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, this is a volunteer thing you guys are doing?
Pardon?
This is a volunteer thing you guys are doing?
Yes.
How do you get involved in that?
If you go, it's called the Society of Honor Guard. You could go on the webpage and pull it up.
Okay. Society of the Honor Guard? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, what were you about to ask?
I was going to say prior military? Or?
Active duty right now.
You're active duty?
Yeah. Oh, nice to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely get involved.
Okay. The Society of the... Is it cool if I take a picture of it so I don't forget?
Sure, go right ahead.
Camera on it for a second?
What's your NEC?
Would you retire as? What rank?
E6.
E6? Okay.
Well, I did 4.5 active duty, and the rest 20 years reserves.
Got it.
24 years, 5 months, and 9 days on my DD 214. But
okay.
It was hard making chief because when they're only promoting like 3 and 13 and 5 and 7 in the reserves, it's not easy.
Yeah, the corpsman.
So higher tenure got me.
Okay. Gotcha. Couldn't say it any longer. Gotcha.
Well, I would love to, but
realized I never actually got a chance to be here at Arlington National Cemetery, so we've been doing like a tour of all these different memorials, monuments, and
did you do the memorial walk or the memorial walk?
Well, we did, but just on our own, like no guided tour or anything. But and then I'm like recording this for like YouTube, so because I did one in Philadelphia because we visited like the Seaport Museum and visited a few ships, USS Olympia, USS New Jersey.
Have you seen the USS Olympia?
Yeah, the unknown soldier. That's why I'm here. This is part 2. maybe like 3 degrees more, it would have topsided. What's the word for it? It's not called topside. It would have capsized. And so they were this close. So I learned that being on the USS Olympia. All right, I'll let you go. We're actually taking the middle. Good talking to you. All right, how you doing?
So when you get up there, they will tell you that you probably can't film yourself going across the plaza.
Okay. Okay, I'll
just warning you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing?
All right. So apparently, I can't take it up there, but I'm gonna close it out, and I'll see you guys in a bit. The phone for this one, but we've left the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Great experience being there, going from us visiting the USS Olympia, which transported the unknown soldier's tomb, and the Marines that played a role in securing the casket from, you know, either falling off or getting destroyed, because it was a rough trip. It was rough seas. You know, to actually being here and getting to lay down a flower for the tomb. So thankful that we got the opportunity to do this. Met a guy, and it appears he was a volunteer, so I asked him about getting involved. How do I get involved as a volunteer here? So I'll get some more information on that. But yeah, we did it. We visited the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. How was it? It was good. All right, we are now, it's been a lot of walking, so we need to eat. So we're probably gonna grab something to eat in either Arlington or Rosslyn, but I will see you guys then.
To honor Army Specialist Maurice Johnson of Levittown, Pennsylvania, who died in Operation Iraqi Freedom on November 1st, 2003. Thank you.
All right, so we've made our way into the women's, what's this called, babe? How would you know? We've made our way into sexes. We've made our way into the Women's Memorial. Here's Michelle Howard. Michelle Howard, she achieved the highest rank of any female service member in the Navy. Born into a military family, Michelle Howard graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1982, where she was one of only 7 African-American women during Operation Desert Storm. She served aboard the USS Mount Hood as chief engineer. Upon assuming command of the USS Rushmore in 1999, Howard became the first African-American woman to command a U.S. Navy ship. In 2009, Howard served in the U.S. Central Command Theater, commanding task forces and multinational counter-piracy operations. Under her leadership, during this time, sailors rescued Captain Richard Phillips, held hostage by Somali pirates. Howard was promoted to 4-star admiral in 2014 and appointed the vice chief of naval operations, making her the second highest ranking officer in the U.S. Navy. At that time, she was the highest ranking woman in the U.S. Armed Forces and the highest ranking African American and woman in the U.S. naval history. She also became the first woman combatant commander upon assuming command of U.S. Naval Forces Europe and Naval Forces Africa. Admiral Howard expressed that she felt a heavy obligation to make the Navy a place sailors want to continue to stay in and become the leadership themselves. Whatever goals we set for ourselves, we know we can go higher. I'm obligated to help set the legacy. Howard retired in 2017 after serving after nearly 36 years. So they ended up placing the Women's Memorial right at the gates of Arlington National Cemetery. One of the reasons that they did this is because honoring service members was mostly just honoring the men, and a group of women, they came together and said, hey, this isn't right. So it eventually ended up getting signed into law that we were going to do a commemoration memorial for women who have served. You know, the 3 million plus who have served currently and in the past, and that's when they made this, and they put it at the site of Arlington National Cemetery. I think this is a great location for it as well. Okay, we're now leaving the Women's Military Memorial and headed to go get some food. Let's do it. So I ordered the original Sin cider. Tastes pretty good. I don't remember what she ordered. I'll ask her. Oh, and the drink that she has is some sort of margarita. Tastes pretty good. It tastes a little bit better than my cider, but it's also a margarita, so she cheated. Okay, so now we made our way to the cigar bar in Northwest DC. It's called Casa de Monte Cristo. So if you're looking for a cigar bar, come here. They got some nice cigars. Not that one. So if you need a nice cigar, come here. Oh, I also taught her how to smoke a cigar for a little bit. So she has a flat bottom Betty. This is her first time trying a cigar out, and she's enjoying it. When you see it later, you're gonna be like, "He in the back." All right, we've left the cigar bar now. Now we're heading back to the hotel to regroup, just in case we end up going back out. We want to make sure that we have appropriate clothing on, because right now we're dressed like this. So not necessarily appropriate for anytime after like 9 p.m. in DC. Places generally have like a dress code, usually like a casual business dress or something like that. Yeah, they won't allow you to be in there. So going back to the hotel to regroup, and then we've done all the monument seeing that we needed to do. Now it's just, if we want to, we can enjoy the DC nightlife. All right, guys, we'll see you in that next part of the video. All right, we're finished up here at the Capitol Hilton. We're about to check out. It was a good trip. Right now, we're gonna go find some food. It's Memorial Day, and if you hadn't noticed by watching this video, I'm active duty military, so hopefully we get some nice free military active duty benefits. Okay, so we made it to this restaurant called Founding Farmers DC. It's right here on Pennsylvania Avenue. They had like an hour-long reservation wait for a table, so we just pulled up to the bar. There's not really any seating at the bar. However, we just asked two guys if they could just scoop down one and just make room for two people. So that's what we did. But hopefully the food is good. I'll let you guys know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part of the video. Peace. Okay, so we just left the restaurants. Now we're heading back to the car. I think we're gonna try to stop by the Jefferson Memorial actually, since we missed it. See, when we were at the Lincoln Memorial and then we went to the MLK Memorial, we were actually right across the tidal basin from the Jefferson Memorial, but it was too far away and we had already been at the end of that day for the trip and we were exhausted. So we said, maybe another time. Well, we actually found some time now before we head home, so we'll head there now and see it. Also, the FDR Memorial is over there as well, so we get to see both. All right, we'll see you guys at the Jefferson Memorial. Oh, as far as what I got to eat from, what was that restaurant called? As far as what I got to eat from the restaurant, I think it's called Farmhouse Restaurant. I got bananas Foster, and she got the waffle. How was your waffle?
It was great.
What type of waffle was it?
It was a waffle with strawberries and cream.
A waffle with strawberries and cream. So I recommend both. I actually still have the bananas Foster pancakes here, and yeah, highly recommend that restaurant. And the bartender was really nice as well. We sat at the bar because it would have been an hour wait, so We had to make space at the bar for us so we can get in and get out within 30 minutes. That's just what we did. All right, see you guys at the Jefferson Memorial. All right, so we made it to the Jefferson Memorial up here. And behind me is the tidal basin. No, I didn't know that. All right, we are just leaving the Thomas Jefferson Memorial Bookstore. Great memorial. We got some good pictures there. You can see the view of the tidal basin.